I'm Miss Aishwarya of 2nd BA English, Maharashtra Men's College for Arts and Science. I'm going to give the review of book After 20 Years by Ho Henry. About the author, Ho Henry was the pen name of a William C.D. Porter, an American short story writer noted for unexpected and often ironic end of his tale. It was a dark, windy night in New York City. The time was barely 10 o'clock, but the chilly gust of the wind had left the street nearly empty of people. The policeman on the beat moved up the avenue impressively. When about midway of certain blocks, the policeman suddenly slowed his walk. In the doorway of a darkened hardware store, a man leaned, with an unlighted cigar in his mouth. As the policeman walked up to him, the man spoke up quickly, assuring him that he was just waiting for a friend there. It was an appointment that had been made 20 years ago. About that long ago, the man said. There used to be a restaurant where the store stands, Big Joe Brandy Restaurant. It was torn down 5 years ago, said the policeman. The man in the doorway struck a matches and lit his cigar. The light showed a pale, square, jowled face with keen eyes, and a little white scar near his right eyebrow. His scarf pin was a large diamond oddly set. 20 years ago tonight, said the man, I dined here at a Big Joe Brandy with Jimmy Wells, my best chum, and the finest chap in the world. He and I were raised here in New York just like two brothers together. The next morning I was to start for the West to make my fortune. Well, we agreed that night that we would meet here again, exactly 20 years from the date and the time. No matter what our condition might be or from what distance we might have to come, the policeman found the story interesting and asked, It's rather a long time between meets. Haven't you heard from your friend since you left? The man replied, Well, we corresponded only for a while. But the last touch since I got too busy. But I know Jimmy will meet me here if he is alive, for he always was a trusted, starched old chap in the world. I came 1,000 miles to stand in his door tonight, and it's worth it if my partner turns up. The waiting man pulled out a handsome watch and lit it set with small diamonds. 3 minutes to 10, he announced. We parted here at exactly 10 o'clock 20 years ago. He had done pretty well out in the West, as the policeman dissuaded. As the policeman said, he would wait at least half an hour more for his old friend Jimmy. The policeman badged him good night and continued his work. There was now a fine, cold drizzle falling. The few foot passengers on the street hurried along the road, with the coat collars turned high and pocketed hands. And in the door of the hardware store, the man smoked a cigar and waited. About 20 minutes the man waited, and then a tall man in the long overcoat, with his collar turned up his ears, hurried across from the opposite side of the street. He went directly to the waiting man. Is that you, Bob? He asked doubtfully. Is that you, Jimmy Wells? Cried the man in the door. Bless my heart, exclaimed the new arrival, grasping both the other hands with his own. I was certain I didn't find you here if you were still in existence. Well, 20 years is a long time. How has the Western treated you? It has given me everything I asked it for. You have changed lots, Jimmy. I never thought you were so tall, 2 or 3 inches. Oh, I grew a bit after I was 20. Doing well in New York, Jimmy? Moderately. I have position in one of the city of department. Come on, Bob. We will go around to the place I know of, and I have good a long talk about olden times. The two men started up the street, arm in arm. At the corner stood a drugstore brilliantly with electric lights. When they came into his glare, each of time turned simultaneously to gaze upon the other's face. The man from the western stopped suddenly and released his arm. You are not Jimmy Wells, he snapped. 20 years is a long time, but not long enough to change a man's nose from a Roman to a pug. It sometimes changes a good man into a bad one, said the tall man. You've been under arrest for 10 minutes, Silky Bob. Now, before we go on to the station, here a note I was to hand you. It's from Patrolman. The man from the west unfolded the little piece of paper handed to him. The note was rather short. Bob, I was appointed based on time. When you struck a match to light your cigar, I saw it was a face of a man wanted in Chicago. Somehow I could not find itself, so I went around and got a plain man cloth to do the job.
Conclusion of the story. O. Henry is known for the surprise endings of his story. This what is no expectation. The story begins with a policeman on the beat, but we don't know it is Jim until the very end of the story. When the second policeman introduces himself as Jim, we are also taken in. This is the conclusion of the story. Thank you.